Hello and welcome to the channeled energy reading for September 1st partial solar eclipse. As I'm recording this, we're between the full moon lunar eclipse that happened on September 7th, and we're not quite at September 21st, the partial solar eclipse. And before we get into the energy of the solar eclipse, let's just quickly speak to the fact that when we're in between eclipses, it can feel like we're in limbo. It can be ungrounding. It can be this feeling like you're in between existences, in between timelines. And so if you're feeling that, know that you're not losing it. It's definitely a collective energy because we're between these ending points. It's like we're between the bookends, right? We're between the ending of the lunar eclipse, which you can go back and watch. It normally the lunar eclipse is around endings, but because of the year we're in, the energy we're in, the numerology of the year, it's just ending on top of ending on top of ending. But there's no vacuum, there's no void in space. We can't just cease to exist. If we're ending something, something must come in to replace it, right? And we're not quite in that energetic state that the solar eclipse offers us, which is that beginning, right? A stepping into. So you might be feeling a bit off. It's an interesting energy, but know that it won't last. In this channel reading, connecting into the collective consciousness of all of you who are going to watch this, who have the potential to watch this, there are three main messages from the Arcturian Master Healers. There's also the white avians. It's almost like I get sandwiched between them lately. It's coming in a lot of different directions. And let me know which one resonates most with you, or perhaps it's all of them. Message number one from the Arcturian Master Healers is around this deconstruction of patternings. You've gone through the releases, you've gone through the endings, right? So many things have stopped, so many things have come forward, but you can't be in this perpetual state of letting go. It doesn't work, right? You're just stuck in this loop. You're letting go to make room for what wants to come in, you sweet, brilliant soul you. So what's coming in? The energy that the solar eclipse is offering you is this room for allowance. It's room for permission to stop digging, stop excavating, stop working so hard, right? The tides have turned. It's now time for allowance. We're trained to be these hustle, type A, alphas. You go, you go, you go. But that's a distortion. That's a deception that's being lifted. And there's a self-deception, yes, that's being lifted with this solar eclipse. The version of you who was living those patterns, it has served its purpose. Okay, you've learned what you needed to learn in that patterning. You've learned what it's like. When I act small, this happens. When I close off my voice, this happens. When I don't honor my truth, this happens. When I neglect my inner child, this happens. Okay, you're in that loop, but you've learned it, so you don't need to go around again. So what's coming forward for you? What's the new course? What's the new trajectory, the new lesson that you get to bring forward now? What is being offered to you on a silver platter? Because that version of you is gone, but it's only gone if you allow it to be gone. It's also how other people attach to that old version of you. So you also, it's not just retraining yourself, it's not creating a new loop for you, it's retraining the people around you. And of course, the partial solar eclipse is right beside the autumn equinox for us in the Northern Hemisphere. So we're getting this extra push of newness, of new beginnings. And as we move into autumn, it's the time of harvest. It's a time of study. It's the time of starting to slow down and see what we've gathered. Okay, I'm also seeing this pattern disruption coming up on a really large scale around the witch wound. And to the point that October's virtual circle on October 7th, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, is about healing the witch wound. And healing the witch wound isn't just about those who identify as witches or mystics. It's a healing of the feminine consciousness, the feminine energy, the permission to show up as our full self, which includes the expression of feminine energy that is intuition, that is psychic ability, that is nonlinear thinking. It is creativity, creation, being able to see the non-seen, being able to see the non-visible. Okay. It's a very symbolic healing opportunity on a collective scale where the feminine energy, the dark feminine, as well as the light, but particularly the dark feminine, which I remind you, dark isn't bad. Okay. It's just the repressed, the part of the feminine energy that is in the shadow. It is inviting on a collective level for us to close this loop of fear of persecution, fear of being physically harmed or silenced for expressing your gifts, silence for expressing your intuition, your abilities, your connection to nature. And quite frankly, that full expression of the human consciousness that has not been safe to come into its full expression for a very long time. We are at this precipice. You are leading the way. You are a way shower, leading the way of what is possible, of closing this loop of fear of persecution. That was a big one. And this is message number 2 from the Arcturian Master Healers. And I was surprised about this. I actually went back and double checked about it because it's about autoimmune issues again. I did speak to this in the full moon lunar eclipse energy. And if you're seeing this again and you're either triggered about it or you just feel some sort of activity in your body, perhaps reconsider that this message is coming up again for a reason for you. So yes, that can show up as literal autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's or type 1 diabetes, celiac, psoriasis, lupus, etc. But energetically, spiritually, the immune system is connected to your identity of self, your sovereignty, where you start and end and where another starts. So your ability to recognize oneself, recognize another, and to not fight yourself, and to learn about enmeshment, to learn if you're holding someone else's energy and how that's impacting you. And if there's a particular area in the body that has an autoimmune disease, like for example, your thyroid, which is connected to your throat, what is that sharing on a larger scale beyond physical, toxins or support on an energetic spiritual side? What is your throat center having an autoimmune disease? Or for example, with celiac, your gut, your microbiome, which is actually you interacting with other. If that's happening, is there a deeper understanding for you to learn there? Your immune system and or autoimmune disease on energetic side is also the repression of oneself, right? That distrust, that hiding, that fighting of oneself, that you're not recognizing your own self. You're attacking your own self. It's also self-punishment. It's overworking. It's self-sabotage. So if you are saying like, ding, 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 yes, then perhaps there's an imbalance there that is ready to be looked at before it comes into physical manifestation as a physical disease. Or maybe it already is a physical disease and you can support your system in an additional way. The third message from the Arcturian Master Healers is they just brought me into the quantum field, right? Which at first I was like, okay, that feels very similar to feminine consciousness, which is non-local energy, right? It's just pure creation. It's outside of the box. And it's like, there's yes, and there's more. So bringing me into the field, and if you resonate with this, with number 3, this message, there is a message that isn't going to be quite like pinpointed for you. The point of the message is to be very expansive, very innovative, very outside of the box. I'll say it again. They brought me to an atom. And when we go to an atom, we think of like, our smallest particles and atoms vibrating. And we know something's solid. The desk that my computer sits on is solid because the way the vibration happens. And we like to imagine that there's solid, there's mass. But if we break down an atom to its smallest particles, break those smallest particles down, the nucleus, the electron, etc., the proton, it's not mass that we find, it's an energetic field. We are made up of an energetic field that is connected into an energetic field that is part of a larger whole and system, and you are a holographic representation of that whole. So this solar eclipse for some of you is really that starting point or a deeper initiation into permission or awareness of the energy beyond you. For some of that, that's going to be connecting into your multidimensional self, multidimensional beings. For others, it's going to be connecting into frequency, the idea of frequency. So sound healing, brain waves. We can go really scientific with it still. If you're like, okay, yeah, sort of, but I just, brainwaves, okay? And understanding that you can put yourself into a different state of mind based on brainwave activity. And in so doing, you can turn on or off healing in the body. I feel that sound healing, frequency healing, we're going to see more and more and more of that as a proven by science. And it's already provable, which is interesting. However, it's become more mainstream. Others of you you're going to be opening up to your psychic abilities more. There's going to be a depth in this. So yes, there is definitely this overlap with the witch wound. When we don't have this unconscious collective cellular memory of being harmed or silenced for expressing one's fullness, for expressing energy beyond the physical body, which we see all of the time. Now, it's just in a different way. Women just aren't being burnt at the stake. But we see it en masse when there's not belief in something that can't be proven. There's not belief. I only believe in pharmaceuticals because it's science. That's an expression of the witch wound. And that's okay. But we're at this turning point in our collective history where that gets to come into balance. That gets to start to come into balance. If you're liking these videos, if they are supporting you on your spiritual awakening, on your ascension journey, please make sure you're liking, you're subscribing, and sharing with someone who may benefit from it as well.